Hi, my friends. It's story time with Grandy. And I'm Grandy. And I'm so glad you took the time to spend with me and listen to this wonderful story called Fiona Flamingo. And you know how sometimes in our heads we have a picture of what someone is going to look like? Or how some event is going to be? And then when we meet the person, they don't look anything like we thought they were going to look. Or when we're at the event, it's nothing like we thought it was going to be. Well, this is a story about Fiona Flamingo and her growth and what she was and what other flamingos expected her to be. So listen. I'm going to put my glasses on because Grandy won't be able to read unless she does. This book is written by Rachel Eurasia Chu, and it's beautifully illustrated by Kate Jeffrey. So let's get started. On a beautiful sunny afternoon where life was simply the best, a little flamingo named Fiona hatched from her egg in a nest. Have you boys and girls ever seen a nest where baby birds were about to be born, or when their mom and dad would come and feed them while they were growing? I did. I've seen several nests. In fact, one of a group of birds built a nest in our garage, on a beam in our garage, and we couldn't shut our garage door for a good month because we didn't want to shut it and have the mom and dad not be able to feed their babies. Okay. Little Fiona grew up making lots of friends. They played flamingo games from day's start to day's end. How fun would that be, playing with your friends from the time the day starts until it ends? As the time passed, the birds all became stronger. They also got pinker, and their feathers grew longer. They turned pinker and pinker. With each feather they grew, they got bigger and bigger, until some of them flew. And that's what happens with baby birds. After their mom and dad feed them enough, they get bigger, their feathers get longer, and their wings get stronger so they can fly out of the nest. But let's see what's happening with Fiona. Fiona remained featherless until it happened one night. She woke up with feathers, but they were bright white. Very unusual for a flamingo. The other flamingos gasped and stared at her in shock. They didn't believe what they were seeing and wildly began to squawk. Now, I've never heard a flamingo squawk, but I imagine it's pretty loud. We had a woodpecker once in our yard that kept me up at night with his pecking and his squawking. So I can only imagine how loud a flamingo squawk would be because they're a lot bigger than woodpeckers. Her friends looked at the white feathers, not knowing what to think. Oh, you're not the right color. Flamingos are supposed to be pink. Oh. Well, with everyone shouting, Fiona began to get scared. She looked at her feathers, and then she looked at theirs. You don't have to be so loud, and please don't make a scene. That's when Fiona started shaking and her feathers turned to green. You see that, boys and girls? Oh, poor Fiona. When her friends saw the change, they squawked louder and meaner. Fiona got more anxious, and her poor feathers grew greener. Her friends looked at the green feathers, not knowing what to think. Oh, stop being so silly, Fiona. Flamingos are supposed to be pink. I don't know what Fiona's going to do. Let's see. Oh no, said Fiona. This is worse than just bad. But her friends kept on squawking. And then Fiona got mad. Let's see what happens when she gets mad. You're making me angry, she jumped and furiously said. That's when Fiona started yelling and her feathers turned to red. Look how bright red her feathers were when she got angry. Well, the flock became silent, hoping things would get better. But Fiona got madder, and her feathers grew redder. Oh, that's what happens sometimes when you get really angry. Her friends looked at the red feathers, not knowing what to think. Don't you think you should calm down now? Flamingos are supposed to be pink. Oh, they keep saying that to her. They all rushed to hug her, and now Fiona felt bad. Her anger was fading, but now she felt sad. I wonder what color she's going to be if she's sad. Let's see. She whimpered and cried, I'm all mixed up in hue. And hue is another color, another word for color, my friends. So I'm going to start again. She whimpered and cried, I'm all mixed up in hue. Oh, that's when Fiona started sobbing and her feathers turned to blue. Oh, poor Fiona. This is part of the story that's sad. The flock watched her from afar, and their concerns grew truer. But Fiona got sadder, and her feathers grew bluer. Her friends looked at the blue feathers, not knowing what to think. Just what kind of bird are you? Flamingos are supposed to be pink. No one could cheer her up. Look, so instead they stayed away. That's when Fiona got lonely and her feathers turned to gray. Oh, that's a sad color sometimes, gray. Ah, but look what happens now. A young chick floated up with a gaze so pure and true. I hope my feathers change colors when I'm as big as you. And that sweet little young flamingo thought that all the different colors Fiona had been, were what she wanted to be when she grew up. Ah, Fiona flashed a happy smile, and her feathers erupted in color. It was a surprise to everyone. No feather was like any other. Look how beautiful all those colors are. I'm sure Fiona was happy. Red, pink, white and green, blue and gray. She was every single color now, and that's the way she'd stay. The entire flock gathered around, and Fiona gave a big wink. I guess we've all learned a lesson here. Flamingos don't have to be, what do you think, my friends? Pink. And so they all learned a lesson. Fiona and the other flamingos. They had a picture in their mind of what Fiona should look like, and she taught them that all flamingos don't have to be pink. So sometimes when we get an idea in our mind, we have to be willing to change when we see that that idea doesn't look like what we thought it was going to look like. And in the back of the book, there are these beautiful pages for you to color if you wish. But since we don't have those pages, I'd like to ask you now to get a plain piece of paper, your crayons and your colored pencils, and draw what you think Fiona Flamingo would look like. Or draw a different bird and color them whatever color you think that would be beautiful for them to be. Use your imagination. It's a wonderful thing that we have. And next week, bring another plain sheet of paper and your crayons and your colored pencils, because we're going to make another picture when it ends. And the name of that book is My Name is Asher. And if you would like to purchase Fiona Flamingo, ask your mom and dad to go to Puppy Dogs and Ice Cream. That's the website, and you can get all these wonderful books, including Fiona Flamingo. And so, our time has come to an end. I hope you enjoyed that book as much as I enjoyed reading it to you. And when you draw your picture, ask your mom and dad to upload it to the Cherokee Arts webpage, and we can see all the beautiful different birds that you came up with. I'd love to see that. And until next time, I want you to know, be safe, bye-bye, and I love you. Have a wonderful time until we meet again.